Boom, welcome back to Rise React. You did what I'm saying. So look, today we doing an interrogation video. It's like the most conceited interrogator, something of that nature right there. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, let's just get straight into the video because it's gonna be a long one for sure. You did.
Organize your business all in one place for just $1 per month with HoneyBook. HoneyBook provides a bird's eye view of all your business's inquiries, clients, and projects, plus individual project pages, each with a full client overview. You can even bundle invoices and contracts together into a single proposal for clients to click and sign anytime, anywhere. HoneyBook does the busy work, so you can focus on your passion. Start for $1 per month at honeybook.com.
Hey, come on in. Hey, come on in. Have a seat. How you doing today?
First off, my man's came in with the cowboy hat. It's about to go down.
Jim Holland with Texas Rangers. I've got a bunch of things to kind of explain to you. I'm guessing you probably have about 50,000 questions right now in your mind wondering what's going on. Would I be right with that?
This is John Macris, and he is about to be interrogated by a Texas Ranger. The body of John's wife, Laura, had been found in the living room of her home.
I don't really have any questions for you, but I do want to explain the process and kind of explain what's going on and why you're here today. I'm sure there's some curiosity there. Before we begin that, in other words, before I begin a dialogue with you, I need to read you this form, and then if you agree, then I'll kind of tell you what's going on. Nothing happens in this room that you don't want to happen. You don't want to talk to me, you don't want to answer questions, and that's cool. All you got to do is say it, and we're done, and you go back. But I figured I would take this opportunity to at least kind of explain to you what's going on, and I figured you would probably have questions about what's going on. I'm kind of pretty straightforward guy. I just kind of throw stuff out there. All right, so I'll just kind of wrap through it, and if I lose you or anything, then just stop me and ask a question. If you want clarification on anything, then all you gotta do is ask me. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna lie to you or blow smoke or anything like that. Cool. All right.
At first, the police believed that it was a robbery gone wrong. The safe in the home was empty, and there were no witnesses to the crime, so the police had very little to go on. The governor of Texas decided to put a UCIT member on the case, and he was able to find quite a bit of evidence that pointed at John. We will discuss that evidence later in this video, but first, the Texas Ranger explains to John exactly who he is.
Number one, let me...
Bro, I didn't know a Texas Ranger was a real thing. I thought that was just like, just like a saying or something, like a Texas, not necessarily cowboy, but like a Texas officer. That's a Texas Ranger. No, but apparently, it's something totally different.
Let me tell you about me. I'm Jim Holland. I'm a Texas Ranger, but I'm not just a regular Texas Ranger. Do you know what Rangers do?
No, we don't. We don't know.
Really?
Okay, you met a Ranger in this case already.
Somebody talked to me at the roller PD.
Right, a younger guy. So I'm what they call a UCIT Ranger. So there's about 120 Rangers in the state of Texas, okay? They do a bunch of different things, from murders to homicide to public corruption, you name it, and they do it. All right? There's 8 guys called UCIT Rangers. Okay?
What?
UCIT, UCIT.
Okay.
Unsolved Crime Investigative Team. So of all the 120 Rangers, if you get picked to be one of these 8 dudes, then you must be pretty good.
I can't help but think of Power Ranger. Like, these are selective Power Rangers that just come through and kick ass or something like that. 120 of them throughout the state of Texas. This is gonna be funny as hell.
No one who's young ever gets picked. No one who's bad ever gets picked. Only people that are exemplary in what they do and have a lot of success. So I'm fortunate, I guess, or unfortunate, depending on how you look at it, because I get a bunch more work to do that, which means I've been a ranger for a really long time. I've been doing this stuff for about 23, 24 years, and I'm pretty good at what I'm doing. I'm really good at what I'm doing, or I wouldn't be doing this. When my phone rings, it's usually the governor. And if it's not the governor, it's the director of the Texas DPS or the chief of the Rangers. And they call me for special assignments. And I go all over. I go all over the world. I've been to Turkey. I haven't been to Greece on business, but I've been to Turkey on business. But I travel all over the U.S. and I do, I guess, special cases. I don't work just regular murders. I don't do anything like that. All I work is murders. But primarily what I work is serial murders, interestingly enough. And then I work cases that haven't been solved or can't be solved, and I don't even work normal ones of those. I work high-profile ones. So normally I get a phone call. In this case, I got a phone call from the governor, and the reason that the governor called was because Laura's mother was calling, writing emails, and other family members were calling and writing emails, wanting to know, why hasn't this murder been solved? So after X number of emails and phone calls and, well, I'll be honest with you, news coverage, because obviously politicians care about the news and the governor cares about the news. I get a phone call. He says, "Jim, I need you to go over to Dallas." Yes, sir. Go solve this. Righto. And basically what I do is I come up here and I take over.
Hey, he already started the F word. What word can I say other than the F word? He already starting to mind freak him. You know what I'm saying? He already starting to mind freak him just by psyching him out. Like, bro, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to catch MFers like you. You dig what I'm saying? So he already playing his mind trick on him. He talking a lot, but he already in full effect.
I take it and I look at it and I tear through it and I solve it. And in my job, there's no excuses for not having results. In other words, at the end of the day, I make arrests, I solve crimes, I get convictions. If I don't do that, then I don't get to keep my job. So I'm really good at what I do. And when I get told to do it, it's usually a pretty short time frame. I don't take months or years to do things. I come up here and I work for a week straight through. And everyone kisses my ass. They do what I want them to do or what I tell them to do because they know that I'm here to solve this and they know that I'm working for the governor. So everyone bends over backwards. So a lot of times I look at cases and I look for forensic evidence. And the neat thing about me is if I find something that needs to be tested for DNA or fingerprints or whatever, basically I go back and look at forensics, look at evidence, and the things that would...
My man's over here playing with his glasses, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to tell whether he's fazed by his position and his criteria to be working right up under the governor. But my man seems not to give a damn. You did what I'm saying? So we're going to see how this goes.
It takes 6 months or a year to review and get results on. It takes me an hour or two. And the forensics, whether it's cell phones or towers or the latest and greatest gizmos and gadgets in the electronic field that other people don't have at their access, I have. And I can have engineers and computer specialists and phone experts and all these different things mapping.
My boy is really messing with his glasses right now.
People do what I need done, usually in a matter of hours. Sometimes if it's complicated, a day or two. So I have everything that anyone could ever want at their disposal, and I'm told to go up there and go solve the case. So in this case, that's basically what I did. And I want to explain to you, if you want me to, how I got here. Sure.
The ranger tells John that he is no ordinary police officer. By describing who he is and detailing all the resources at his disposal, the ranger is manipulating John into believing that he has already solved the case. The truth is that the ranger has gathered evidence that led him to believe that John paid 2 men to kill his wife. The 2 men are James Valletta and Jesus Trevino.
There's a couple problems.
What do you mean?
Let me explain them to you. So, you know James Valeda, right?
Over here, yes. I did not really have any relations with him.
Okay, and you know Mr. Trevino there, right?
Yes, with him I know him several years.
And you know those guys have obviously been sitting in jail here for a while.
Yes.
Okay, so I can kind of take a long...
I wonder how long has my man's not been in jail? Like, what's the time gap between these murders? Because he done said a few things that kind of insinuate that this didn't happen a while ago. From the emails and the phone calls that they've been putting in, that the family been putting in, and that these two guys just been sitting in jail for X amount of time. I'm under the impression that this didn't happen months ago, and bro probably think that he got off with it. Hey, we gonna see.
Long time where I can just cut to the chase and just lay shit out to you. Are you a pretty straightforward dude? I mean, you don't seem like an overly talkative guy.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, those two knuckleheads have been in jail for a long time, so let me kind of cut to the chase. So you can imagine why you're arrested. Okay? One of the reasons. Okay?
I don't want too much. My imagination is bad.
Okay, well, I'll get to that. Here's you, Mr.
Just call me John.
All right. Jesus and James working for you, right? Pretty good dudes. You only know Jesus James for just a little bit of time. Right?
Correct. I know Jesus from before, and Jesus brought James because we need to increase my crew.
Okay. Well, let me cut to the chase a little bit. Jesus is a dumbass. All right?
Sometimes he...
No, he really is a dumbass. Okay? At the end of the day, you shouldn't...
This is not no regular interrogator, bro. You can tell because they do not talk like this man talk. He do not call other suspects dumbass. Well, you know, other interrogators don't, but the Texas Ranger, he obviously do. Hey, one time for the Texas Ranger, I'm gonna like this.
Hire a dumbass to do a job because he's going to screw it up. All right? And if he doesn't screw it up, he's going to talk about it. And that's what happens with him. Now, at the end of the day, I think there's a bright light for you, and I'll kind of get there and explain that to you, okay? But this is the deal. A year ago, you know this chick?
What's your name, Lorena?
Lorena Elizabeth Rodriguez. 215 pounds. She ain't so small. I bet she weighs more than you.
I'm about 215 now.
Yeah, well, there you go. You guys can wear the same pants.
I'm not 100% sure.
Bro, he talking reckless. He just said that this lady can wear the same pants as this man, insinuating she a big girl. Okay, Texas Ranger.
Okay, well, this is the deal. Her and Jesus, main squeeze, right?
What does that mean?
That means that they were, at a minimum, having sex. How's that? Okay. Apparently, Jesus likes big girls.
Simple stuff, so...
Apparently, Jesus like big girls. My man's is wow. I want a job with them if they could talk reckless like that.
They were copulating. How's that?
I don't know that either.
Sex.
I understand what you said there, what you said.
Oh, okay. So this is the deal. Jesus is sleeping with this girl, right? Hang on. I jumped ahead of myself. I hate it when I do that.
The ranger begins to explain to John how all the evidence led to him. It starts with a picture of Jesus' girlfriend holding the same caliber of weapon that had taken Laura's life.
So this is the deal. When this murder goes down, Laura, your wife, fiance, sorry, a couple months later, Janet is getting interviewed and questioned and everything like that, and she comes forward. Actually, they approach her after they find this on a webpage, and this is her with a gun, which is a .40 caliber Springfield XD. The bullet that killed your wife was a .40 caliber weapon. Okay, this is Jesus's apartment, or where he was staying with the SpongeBob stuff. We went back and took some pictures. So she's kind of hanging out there with the stuff on the internet, so I'll give them their kudos when they deserve it. They go when they find her, and I have since gone back and interviewed her and spoken with her. And 6 months ago, I'm sorry. 6 months before your wife was murdered, she claims, all right, I'm just about as a claim, she comes forward and says that she was talking to Jesus.
Bro, this man is funny. He did not have to correct himself because he did not make anything clear.
As a claim, she comes forward, she claims.
He said 6 months ago, oh, my bad. Wait, no. Well, that means that, like I said, this has been unsolved for months. So he did it. He did correct himself. Okay. All right, look, we just piecing this together.
As a claim, she comes forward and says that she was talking to Jesus. Jesus says that you offered to pay him money to kill Laura. And I think it was 4,000 or 9,000, but no, the number mountains all over from 9 to 15,000 or something. But she says this, and she says that Jesus not only told her that you hired him to kill your wife because you didn't want to get married and you wanted custody of the children. That's what she says. Come on, she's just some kind of gangbanger chick, right? Look at her. Do we believe this shit? You think she's credible? Oh, come on. You wouldn't listen to that, would you? So when I hear that this girl says that Jesus told her that he'd been hired by you to kill your wife, and was going to be paid X amount of dollars, I mean, I thought that was kind of bullshit. And then they show me these pictures. I'm like, all right, so you know what? I'm going to fly to Colorado, and I'm going to go interview her myself. And I'm going to give her a polygraph. And you know what?
Bro, he got the sauce. So he flew to Colorado just to interview a chick and to give her a polygraph. But see, it's funny because he's totally different from an interrogator. An interrogator detective, you can tell that's just what he do. Apparently, he do things other than just this. And you could tell by his demeanor, because he's hoeing the chick. He called one chick a big girl, said that she could wear the same size pants as him. This chick, he was just like, man, look at her. She like a gangbanger. She ain't credible. She don't even look credible. Am I right? Like, what? What? He fooling.
She told me, and I believed her. And she passed the polygraph. But, look at her. Would you, so what?
Mm-hmm. You said to me again, what did you say? You know what did she told me? I didn't understand what you just said.
So, I didn't believe this. I thought, well, she's probably not credible. So I went to Colorado and I interviewed her, and I'm an expert, right? I'm supposed to be one of the best, right?
Okay.
100% solvency rate in every homicide that I've ever investigated. 100%. That's why I've got the job that I have, right?
I understand.
So I sit down and I interview her, and there's no indications of deception. She's telling the truth.
There's no indication for what?
No indications of deception. She is
Deception, okay.
She's not lying. She's telling the truth. I'm convinced of that, just in case I give her a polygraph. And she passes that. Okay.
When you say she passes that, what do you mean? I'm not.
My man's is playing so stupid. My man's is, I mean, he's playing stupid, but he also playing smart. But at the same time, you're not playing smart if you don't ask for a lawyer as soon as you get in this room. However, this guy's a little bit different. He could probably bypass that lawyer stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is good.
I mean, she was asked those questions when she was hooked up to a machine, and she gave the same answers, and the polygraph showed that she was telling the truth. Now, I don't really give a shit what the polygraph says, other than the fact it's just something else to prove up, right? Shows that she's being credible. Maybe people think I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really think that, but sometimes I like to imagine that. Right? All right. So, but you wouldn't think much about that, about this girl jumping out there, and maybe Jesus runs his mouth or something.
Well,
but
I'm not that she have this with him, and
yeah, it's not credible, right? I mean, you wouldn't buy that shit, would you?
as I said,
I wouldn't buy it. It doesn't mean anything, right? So then, we go back. We interview her. She steps forward and she says that a year ago, while she was involved with Jesus, she said that Jesus told her that you were going to pay Jesus $9,000 for killing your wife because you wanted to keep custody of the kids.
I didn't have any problems with my wife.
I'm just telling you what they're saying. I'm not here asking you questions. I just want to tell you what's out there. You should know what's out there, right? I mean, you want to know, don't you?
I mean, if
You're under arrest?
Yeah, I guess you're going to tell my lawyer, so it doesn't make a difference, right?
Yeah, you can tell them too. You can leave, you can do whatever. I'm just trying to explain it to you. If you want to hear it, then I will. If you want to leave, then let me know and we'll bring someone. So, I would want to know. If I was accused of something, I would want to know. I would want to know what's out there. I'm the guy to tell you. So, she says that a year ago, Jesus told her that he was going to get paid $9,000 to kill your wife because you wanted to keep the children and you didn't want to get married. Or you just wanted to keep the kids. And
my man's twiddling his thumbs. Oh, you could he playing it off real good, but if you look at him, he twiddling his thumbs, and that's one of the big, because he's just so anxious. You dig what I'm saying? Look at him.
She goes into a little bit of detail about what he was planning to do and why it was going to happen. But, so you got another chick, right? She's probably some gangbanger. She's dating Jesus, right? You think she's credible?
Well, Jesus was doing a lot of chicks, so.
Right. So he's just running his mouth, right? I mean, she's probably just making shit up. She's coming forward after the fact. She wants to be famous. She wants to be on Entertainment Tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of maybe, but the problem is she says, no, I'm not making this up, and no, I believed it, and yes, it happened, and I'm so sure of this that I called the Dallas Police Department, and I talked to a detective, and I gave him all the information. When? A year before the murder.
Oh.
Bullshit. No, I did. I called him. I told him every single thing. I told him what I knew. I gave him John's name, I gave him the wife's name, I gave him all of Jesus' information, what he drives, about the gun, everything. I told him everything. I said, okay, well, let us look for that report. We don't find it. There's no report. She never called Dallas PD. But guess what? A day later, they find the report. Not only
this guy is cold. What? Like the way he just telling this, the way he just flowing this off. We're going to take this back a little bit. She never called Dallas PD. Never did. Couldn't find a report. Then a day later, they find the report. Like, bro, why? Why are you messing with this guy mental so crazy? He's breaking him down chip by chip. Typically, most detectives, they just come in with a wrecking ball and just wreck it all out. But my man's, he's peeling the layers back so smooth and so slow that my man is in so much pain. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get to it.
But guess what? A day later, they find the report. Not only did she call them, and not only did they take a report, but the whole thing was recorded, right? And then they handed it off to a Department of Public Safety, State Police, CID agent who works intelligence hits. And he starts looking at it. I don't know, his wife got sick and his mom died and kids have scarlet fever. For whatever reason, he didn't really do shit with it other than open the file, ran your name, runs your wife's name, pulls up your house on Google Maps, and runs Jesus. A year before your wife dies. Now there's two people that are saying the exact same thing, and one of them is memorialized a year before his what? It's recorded.
Okay.
There's a record, there's reports, there's documents. It's not made up, it's not bullshit. How would she know this is going to happen?
The ranger explains that not only did Jesus' girlfriend say that Jesus told her that John paid him to kill his wife, but she also knew it would happen a year prior to the incident. She even filed a police report because she thought Jesus would go through with it.
You know this dude?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Manuel brought him to help with some work randomly.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do?
Whatever, just helping stuff in the houses.
How long before your wife's murder?
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. So, brain surgeon, Mr. Trevino, reaches out to him and says, hey, this is the deal, dude. John's going to pay me $9,000 to kill his wife because he wants to keep the kids. And I need 2 drivers, and I want to see if you'll do it with me.
The ranger is referring to a message between Jesus and James, where he tells James about the plan, and he asks if he would be the driver. The problem is, James would be brought in for questioning, and he would immediately tell the police everything.
So we bring him in, doesn't necessarily want to talk. The problem is he get caught up in a conspiracy to commit murder if there's any chance he has anything to do with it. So he lays out this whole story. I mean,
James said, "Hey, I'm folding like a sheet of paper."
everything, planning what was going on, why it was bothering him, why he wasn't going to do it, all this shit. He lays everything out. So it's getting interesting. Now we got 3 people saying the same thing. You know him? Juan Salazar.
No, I don't know that guy.
Another buddy, right? Mr. Trevino's got all kinds of buddies. Guess what he does with him? He goes to him and says, "Hey, dude, this is the deal. My boss is paying me 15 grand to whack his wife so he can keep the kids, and I need a driver. Would you be interested in doing it?" Shit you not. Same thing. He comes in, he gives an affidavit, a statement, he swears to it. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 people saying the same exact shit. Boom.
Bro, this man is screwed. Everybody folded on him. Everybody folded on him that he got hip to the plan. And one chick, first off, let's get back to it.
I mean, how are we getting all these people that are coming forward and getting information from them? I mean, they're kind of gangbanger types. It's not like they're going to just jump out there.
That's your job, huh?
Well, yeah, but guess who makes it really easy? Mr. Dumbass. Because guess what he does? He's got an app on his phone to record all the conversations.
Yeah, no, I'm the one who told him about this app because I use this app for my clients.
I bet you know how to turn it on and turn it off, don't you?
What do you mean?
I mean that every phone call you make, do you record?
Look at my man's hands, bro. He can't stop moving his hands. Like I said, he doing good with not making too many body movements, but his hands is giving it all away. Damn.
It, or just the ones that you want to?
It's recording all of them, and just when I finish usually my conversation, I just delete it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he does that, or do you think he backs it up to the cloud? What would you think? You know, I think he's a dumbass. You already know the answer. He backs it up to the cloud. So every phone call that he's ever made, outgoing and incoming, is backed up to the cloud. Well, because of what I do, pretty good at what I do, right?
Back in the cloud.
Oh yeah. Do you think Rowlett thought about that shit? Nope. But you think I did? They said, yeah, he tossed his phone the day after. We don't have shit. It's all in the cloud. Guess who has all that? All these conversations. How do I know about these people? How do I know about the guns? How do I know about all this shit? Because Dumbass recorded conversations with you. Recorded. A week ago, I started working this case. Within 24 hours, it was pretty much done. Presented the facts to grand jury on Tuesday. Not for arrest, but for indictment. I'll explain that.
For what?
Indictment. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Brother? You know what he said? Dude comes up. He's getting paid $9,000 to do a hit. He needs a driver. He'll pay him $4,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 or 7? I lose track.
Bro, this is so crucial. This Texas Ranger is a mofo. Dog. Bro, he hitting him. It's not only that he got the facts, it's how he's presenting the facts, bro. And my mans cannot stop twirling his fingers. And he's so conceited. He got such a hell of a personality that he just, this man is just sitting just through death right now. He's dying right now. Oh my goodness.
Nothing really matters.
Doesn't. When I say he's a dumbass, I'm dead on. Okay, but I want to keep going. I want to prove that I actually know what I'm doing. All right?
You can stop.
The ranger shows John the overwhelming evidence against him, and there's not much John can do but sit quietly. The ranger claims that he has recorded phone calls, witness testimony, and a picture of the murder weapon, but there is still more yet to come.
Oh my God.
Then, of course, if you're going to shoot someone, all right, and you're smart enough to get rid of the clothes and the gun, all right, you should also get rid of the backpack that the clothes and the gun are put in. Because when you shoot someone, even though you don't see it, there's something called GSR, gunshot residue, and there's blood splatter because it's high speed. When you hit something, and even though you can't see, you watch CSI, Miami, any of those shows?
Sometimes I've seen that.
So when you shoot someone at close range, the splatter comes back at you. And if you're wearing a black hoodie when you do it, all right, you're going to have the victim's blood on you. Now, if you get rid of the black hoodie and the black pants and the black tennis shoes that you're wearing, it can be pretty good, right? Because you can just get rid of it. But the problem is, if you put all that shit along with the gun that has blood on it into this backpack, you know what the Locard exchange principle is? Oh, it's fascinating. Locard is this French scientist. He's an absolute genius, right? He comes up with this theory back in 1823. Same year, mind you, that the Texas Rangers came to be. And the Locard exchange principle is fascinating. It's that when two objects touch, this table and that phone, there is an exchange. Part of that table goes onto this phone, and part of this phone goes onto that table.
That makes sense, yes.
Smart dude. French scientists, don't screw with the French, right? They're smart. So Locard exchange principle, if you take the bloody black hooded sweatshirt and the black pants that you're wearing and the gun that you shot this person with and you stick it all in that backpack, right? And then you take out that stuff and you take the gun, you put it in little pieces and you dump it in one spot, and you take the clothes and you dump it, let's say, at a job site, right? In a garbage can. You're pretty smart for doing that, right? But if you put all that shit in this backpack, because of the Locard exchange principle, then there's a transfer of evidence. So where do you think this backpack was found?
I don't know, I'm trying to see that.
It was found in James's motel room. Okay?
Okay.
And who do you think James said this backpack belonged to? Jesus.
Yes.
Right? And who do you think that all these other knuckleheads, 7, said this backpack belonged to?
From where it's going, I'm guessing
Jesus. He's the dumbass, right? And what do you think they said that Jesus always kept in that backpack? His 40 gat. You know what gat is?
Not sure.
Gun. His pistol.
Okay. How did you call it?
A gat? You never heard that? It's like gangster shit, man. Gangster.
I'm not on any guy.
He did the hand movement, the hand gesture too. Oh man, Jesus.
Mr. Trevino, he wants to be a gangster. His problem is he's not. He's in kind of a bind right now, and I'll explain that to you. He's got this thing. He likes to tell people that he's part of Mexican gangs that work for drug cartels, but he's really not. It's not a big deal when you do that, but when you do it and you're in jail, it's not so good. Because those people don't like people saying that they're them. And
Yes.
you know, they're in a Mexican drug cartel gang for a reason, right? And if you're not and you're saying that shit, they take that stuff personal. Anyway, back to Mr. Trevino's backpack, which is found in James's motel room. Take that out. Rowlett PD does a good job and they secure that, but guess what they don't do? What would you think?
That exchange of
The card exchange principle, right? But the Ranger, smart son of a bitch I am, I looked at that and I said, did y'all do GSR on it? Did y'all swab it? Did you do DNA? Did you do S strand? Did you do Y strand? Did you do all the different strands that you can think of? All these high molecular $50,000 tests. What are you talking about? Right? Okay, but hey, I'm the man. Governor picks up the phone for a reason, so I go down there and I see that picture. And what do you think the first thing that I do is?
Tell them to do all the stuff, I guess.
Tell them my ass. Takes me an hour. Takes me an hour. I drive over there. By the time I'm done drinking my double latte from Starbucks, they got that shit done. They're calling me up. And guess whose DNA is in the CODIS databank? Do you know what CODIS is?
No.
Combined DNA Indexing System. It means if you're a shithead and you get arrested, they take your DNA. They run a swab of your mouth and it goes into this giant computer base. Okay? That's so when you get out of jail, if a shithead commits a crime and he leaves his DNA at a scene, all the police got to do is test it and they have a hit. All right? Because he's a knucklehead and he's been to prison, we keep his DNA because we know he's going to commit more crimes. So as soon as I run this, what do you think I get?
My hit, I guess.
Not 1, 3.
I mean, if you get 1 or 3. I mean, if it's his backpack, then isn't
His DNA would be in it, right?
Yeah.
What about his sweatshirt that was in there, right? He wears it, so his DNA's on it, and it's going to be inside the backpack. Do you think your wife ever walked over and bled on that? I mean, did you ever see your wife walk over to Mr. Trevino's backpack and cut her wrist and bleed inside of it?
Of course not.
No, she wouldn't do that. That'd be silly, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Well, absolutely, and that's why I've concluded that the blood that is inside here, whose DNA matched to your wife, came from the gun in the sweatshirt. The gun that he used to kill her and the sweatshirt that he was wearing when he did it.
Wow.
A card exchange principle. Bloody interior of backpack with GSR gunshot residue, his DNA on it, 7 different people saying that it's his backpack, GSR from the gun, and your wife's blood inside that backpack. What would you conclude from that?
But he's guilty.
Hell yeah, I did it. Some bitch did it. Shot your wife. Problem is, we can stop right there, right? End the show. We got him. Boom. 7 people saying that you hired him to kill your wife. If it was 1, okay, 2, 3, 7. Can't ignore that. But there's more people involved. There's got to be more people involved. This backpack, right? The stories. Your cell phone, okay? Another piece of advice. If you're going to tell someone to go kill someone else, all right, tell them to turn off their cell phone and wrap it in aluminum foil. No shit, right? Why? Because you have to be on your cell phone for it to be tracked.
What do you mean?
I mean,
No, I didn't understand your question or your statement.
if you have a cell phone, do you have to be talking on it for me, the police, Big Brother, to know where you are?
I don't think so.
Nope.
He called himself Big Brother. Oh my goodness, bro. What he do is he just throw out a whole bunch of random stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of random stuff. He just throw it out. And eventually he just get to pulling at all of it, and all of it just comes together. Bro, this is ridiculous. And we only like a third of the way through.
Probably you can track it at any time without me being on it.
Unless it's wrapped in aluminum foil.
Okay.
Pretty smart. That's the only thing that'll cut the signal off from the tower. But when you look at your phone, you see the bars, the tower bars, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like a 1, 2, 3. We use those, tower strength, signal strength, with a trajectory from the tower. In other words, if you're standing right here and the tower is right here, you're an engineer, you went to 2 extra years after high school, right? To be a civil engineer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you know about trajectory and angles.
Yes.
Based on that signal
Can
strength.
pinpoint your location.
Exactly. And so you know what this does? It pinpoints. Can I call him dumbass? Is that okay? Is that all right with you? Because he is. So it pinpoints dumbass's signal at James's apartment, motel, sorry, there's a difference. Picking him up and then driving. Can you show me where your house is on there? That's it. You know why that X is there? Because it picks him up driving to your house. And really pretty much the exact time that we feel like your wife was murdered, within a minute and a half to 3 minutes of her getting home, because you just barely beat her there, his phone is tinging at your house. And then his phone goes all the way back towards, where's this? Oh, right here. And it stays there for just a little bit, and then it goes to, where's that Home Depot at? There.
This is where he came and met me.
Yep. Right after he killed your wife. So, if I know that he's at James's motel, what do you think that makes me to believe about James?
That he's an accomplice somehow.
Bingo!
Now that the ranger has shown John how he knows that Jesus was the shooter and how James was the driver, he will explain how he knows John was the one who set it all up.
So then he sits down and he gives a statement. And in that statement, he specifically talks about how he was part of the conversation between you and him talking about how this was going to go down. And how you three went into a room after the murder and discussed how everyone needed to shut up and keep quiet the day after the murder. But let's go forward a little bit. He also says that he was a big sissy and he wouldn't just do it. He kept dragging it out. He says that you got really, really mad about that and that you told Mr. Trevino that you need to get your shit together and knock it out because you haven't done anything to plan for the wedding. You haven't gotten a tuxedo, and now your mom's going to be coming, and he needs to get this shit done. Then he says, one-on-one, right, that while you guys were out at a dump, that you have a conversation with him, and you're talking about the murder, and is he really going to do it? And he says, no, I think he's a big sissy. And then you turn around and say, well, he was supposed to do another job for me, my ex-wife down in Georgia. Would you do a hit for $15,000? And he said,
My boy just got the cheese like that. He just dropping money just to get people up out of there. And he never stopped messing with his hands, bro. My man's super guilty, man.
well, that's not really my deal. I don't really do that. Because he's not really a hitter. So, someone who's going to do a murder shouldn't hire someone who is afraid of the sight of blood, right, to do it. And they shouldn't hire someone who's not really a shithead. He's not really a shithead. He's a pretty legitimate dude. He just has some issues and he did something really, really stupid. You shouldn't bring him along for the ride. And then you shouldn't have a conversation with him about it. Now, you can blow off everything that he said and you can blow off everything that he said. But the deal is these two have been separated and they were both interviewed and they both said exactly the same thing. All right? You paid him to have your wife killed. Now, these two, who's admitting to doing the murder, the gun, the clothes, phone conversations, everything, all right? I did it. He drove me there. That'd be one thing, but they have no reason to do that murder unless they're getting paid. And I got 7 other people saying that they paid them, and these two are completely separate, and they're telling me the exact same freaking story. And they haven't had an opportunity to get their story together. And they both tell me what was said in that bedroom the day after your wife was murdered.
The final piece of evidence is that all 3 men were in the same room, discussing what they should do with the body. The ranger took Jesus and James and interviewed them separately, and they were both able to recall the same conversation. They both told the ranger what John had said, and both of their testimonies matched. With this final nail in the coffin, the ranger will tell John what his options are.
Okay. Now, you have choices, my friend. Okay? Because this looks really, really bad for you. All right? And that's why on Tuesday, this was presented to a grand jury. Do you know about the American legal system and the grand jury?
I have no idea.
Anyone can be arrested. Man, I could write out a probable cause affidavit that you committed murder. Okay? And I could arrest you for it. Just like that. I just boom, and the judge signs it, okay? But I'm guessing by now you know that I'm just not this ordinary cop, right? Mm-hmm. I'm different. I'm anal retentive. I'm ADD. I can't help it, all right? I go overboard on everything. So I grab all this shit, all my forensics, all my phone stuff, all my statements, all my you name it, I grab everything and I present it to a grand jury. When a grand jury does an indictment, all right, that means that one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to go to trial or you're going to plead guilty. Okay? On Tuesday, this was presented to a grand jury, and on Tuesday I found out that the grand jury indicted you and him for capital murder. This is coming today. Okay? That means that there's no probable cause statement. That means that the grand jury issues the warrant, which means there's evidence to move forward. And at this point, you're looking at a long time in prison or the death penalty. Okay? Now, why am I telling you all this? Because I think it's right that you know everything. Okay? I think that's important. But you have a choice to make. And I'm going to tell you what the positive is.
What the what?
Positive, the good.
Okay.
Okay. I don't like him. All right? And he's killed other people.
I wouldn't like him either at this point.
All right? Well, he's killed other people. Okay? So in the United States, when you kill 3 or more people, do you know what you're called? A serial murderer. This wannabe has actually killed 2 other people. That means that he's killed 3 people total. All right? Which makes him a serial murderer. And a serial murderer needs to go to death row and die. He just never, ever needs to get out. Now, John, I know that you're kind of foreign to this country, and I know that I'm throwing a lot at you. But I'm going to give you an opportunity today. And it's really important that you understand this because I don't want to lie to you and I don't want you to misunderstand anything that I'm saying. Okay? I'm not the decision maker. I'm not the district attorney. I'm not the district judge. I'm not a grand jury. I'm none of those people. Okay? I'm a Texas Ranger. Now, granted, I'm one who answers phone calls from the governor, right? Mm-hmm. Don't carry his bags. Just answer the phone. Do what he asks me to do. But I'm a Texas Ranger. I'm not a decision maker. Okay? After we meet today, I'm going to go upstairs because we're also in the Criminal Justice Center here. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to meet with the district attorney, and I'm going to tell her exactly how this interview went. And she's going to ask me a bunch of questions about it, okay? And you've got to make a decision as to what you want to do or how you want to proceed with things, okay? This country is very interesting in that if people show remorse and if they're sorry and they beg for forgiveness, all right, and they tell the truth, things tend to go better for them. If they tend not to do that, all right, then this is a death penalty case, and that's what you're looking at. And if you're not afraid to die, I understand. Really, I'm not either. But the problem is you have to sit on death row for like 12 to 15 years, and it's a really, really horrible existence, okay? And I don't think that I don't know who you are. I've really kind of tried to figure you out. I'm honest. I'll be brutally honest. I don't know if you're a sociopath, if you're a psychopath. And I kind of looked into it some more, and I don't think you're any of those things. I think that you felt like your wife was cheating on you, and I think that you thought your wife was not a good mother, and I think that you were probably right, and I think you felt like she was going to leave you and she was going to take the kids, and I think that you were right because I think that she was going to. I think she was going to marry you so she'd give you half the business and she was gone. And you know that, and I know that.
No, I don't.
That's what I believe.
No, I don't believe that for Laura at all. I mean, no, I don't believe that. I did not think that Laura will. I mean, the business was hers anyway, so it doesn't matter me getting married with her or not. So that's. I mean, I have no.
Then why, John? Why? Because you still want to get married? Because you want to?
No, I didn't have a problem to get married. I mean, I tried to get married with her for at least 3 years. Mm-hmm. I loved her. I still love her. I mean, it's. You know, I love my kids. When they took my kids away, it's like killing me. It's.
Well, right now, you have an opportunity because, number one, you have an opportunity to ease the pain from them, okay? And there's something called consideration, all right? And I'm not, again, the deal maker, but I can tell you, you move forward with this stuff and these people testifying against you and everything else, and you get the death penalty, okay? This thing about consideration, okay? The best thing going here, and normally you know how this works, it's the person who hires that they're really after, all right? But you don't have a criminal history. You've never been in trouble before.
No, I mean,
it's a pain in the ass, right? So
my man's stuck, man. He don't even know what to say. It's nothing for him to say. Even if it wasn't true that he didn't care about his wife taking the kids or the business, even if it wasn't true, he still don't have nothing to say because his homeboy done just ratted him out and did him bold. Damn.
They're not really you're like there, yeah, you need to be punished, but this guy, he's bad, he really needs to go to death row, okay? So, at the end of the day, I think that you have an opportunity, and your opportunity is to be honest, to ask for forgiveness, all right? And to cooperate with all this, and move forward and hope for consideration. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'll tell you what's going to happen with this stuff. If you end up going to a trial, you're going to get convicted, you're going to get the death penalty. Okay? Period. I don't think you want that. I don't think your children want that. I know that they wouldn't want to have to deal with that. But if you are sorry, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you're sorry for what happened and the way things happened, all right, and if you want to tell that story, then I will go to the district attorney and I will tell her that you cooperated with this investigation and that you made a really, really bad mistake and that you're sorry, but that you gave up the information about these two and specifically him, which is what she wants. And I think that gives you an opportunity moving forward. I can't promise you that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But I think that gives you a really, really, really good opportunity moving forward. Okay? And it's your choice. It's what you want to do, but it's not going to be presented to you again. And I know that's a lot to be thrown at you, but I think you knew this. You're not surprised with this. You knew this day was coming. I mean, you're not free.
You knew this day was coming, bro. Damn, Texas Ranger.
Freaked out. You're not nervous. You're nothing.
I am nervous. I mean, it's just...
You know it's coming, John. You know it's coming. Now you got to make a decision. You know what mitigation of damages is?
No.
It's when you screw up and you try to make the best of it. Okay? You screwed up, all right, and now you got to try to make the best of it. And let me tell you something else. Greek Orthodox? Mm-hmm. How did I know that? Christianity, all right, Americans, the district judge, the jury, the grand jury, and the district attorney are all good Christian people, because in America you really don't get elected unless you're a good Christian person, right? And what's a value that all Christians share? What's the number one rule of Christianity? Spread the word of God. Number two, you got to forgive. If you're a good Christian, you have to forgive, and it doesn't matter. I sat down one time, Catholic, right? I've got some Roman Catholic, some Greek Orthodox. I got a cousin who married from Chicago, a guy who's Greek Orthodox. Same thing, they just kind of left the boat, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. So, what's the difference between a good person and a bad person? Does Mother Teresa make mistakes?
Everybody makes mistakes. I don't care who it is.
Pope makes mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. Pope makes mistakes.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
What's the difference between a good person and a bad person?
Look, the juicy part is over with. It's not even no point in him confessing because we already knew what the hell took place. Look, with that being said, man, make sure y'all like, y'all subscribe, hit your boy with all that good stuff. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Y'all rocking with your boy. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out.